This episode, we are talking with none other than our district director herself, but soon to be the immediate past District Director Jazz Encarnacion. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Jazz.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, thank you for really saying yes to be part of this series. As we all know, District Director Jazz is our incumbent district director here in District 75. She is not a candidate anymore.
Yes.
so our so our disclaimers were for our other candidates who are part of this series. District Director Jazz agreed to be here as a special guest to give us her different insights from her years as a district leader. But before we get all into that, especially for the benefit of our Toastmasters who haven't met Direct Jazz yet, maybe we can ask Direct Jazz to introduce herself. Go ahead, Direct Jazz.
Hello, everyone. Maayong hapon. I'm Jazz Encarnacion, Distinguished Toastmaster. I'm a member of several clubs. My home club is Butter and Toast Toastmasters Club of Division B. I'm also a member of Johnson and Johnson of Division H, Sulo Advanced Toastmasters Club of Division M, Molave of Division H, and others. I cannot mention because I cannot recall all of them. But I do uh, attend their meetings every now and then. So I've been a Toastmaster for more than 20 years. I started on April 1, 2000, as part of a corporate club named Silver and White Toastmasters Club, and the club still exists up to this day.
All right, thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Jazz. Maybe you can also tell us about a couple of leadership experiences that you had before you became part of the district trio. So I'm sure that you've probably been a division director, an area director, a club president, a club vice president. Maybe you're still filling those roles right now. So maybe before the time as a district trio, what were the different leadership positions that you filled prior to that role?
Yeah, my leadership journey is very interesting because I'm a hesitant leader. I am one of those Toastmaster members who are very contented with just supporting the existing leaders. So initially, I took on the club secretary role, and I was hesitant to take on that role. Eventually, I became a club president of Silver and White Toastmasters Club, and then I was tapped to be an area director and eventually the division directors. The reason for me accepting those leadership roles would be my friendship with the leaders that time. So I was friends with the division director of Division B. That's why I accepted the role. Same thing with having accepted the Division B director role. And I was also admin manager. That time it was district secretary during the term of past district governor Katrina J.J. Letargo. So, and then I became part of the district trio 2, 3 years ago. And now I'm so excited to finish my term this coming June, end of June 2023. But I'm sure all of you are excited to end the term and transition to the new set of leaders. So we give them opportunities to have their time and serve District 75.
All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. Personally, yes, I am also excited for the end of the term, but not because we're not going to be in the position anymore, but because of the new opportunities that it holds for all of us, right? Toastmasters is really about opening doors for ourselves, and it's also about helping others open doors in their own lives. So when we introduce our new set of officers, most of the time, in most of the area directors, I believe that they are area directors for the first time, and I think that that's also a very welcome experience, not only for us who are part of the councils and the district, but it's also a very welcome experience to really help new people reach new heights of leadership. But
Yes.
something I'm personally excited about Toastmaster Jazz is being able to compete again.
Yes.
Were you an avid contestant in your time, or were you someone who would be pushed but would still participate by your fellow officers in your clubs?
Yeah, I'm one of the Toastmasters who are voluntold. So I've competed twice and reached the division level. I've been I competed for evaluation speech contest and I won twice as a second place winner up to this division level. That time I was so happy because my goal is just to reach second place because I don't want to go to the next level. But then I realizing, well, now I have a better perspective because now after my term, I really want to compete and move up because that's how you improve and how you grow as Toastmasters, as speakers, right? So we'll see next time. Perhaps we could be competitors at the district and perhaps
Yes.
district level, right? Let's do it.
I find competing very very interesting because before I became a Toastmaster, I was a debater. And
Mhm,
debate is inherently a competition. And I actually joined my first contest the first year I became a Toastmaster in 2018.
mhm,
And I came in with this very very I guess hambugiro mindset because
uh-huh.
I'm a debater. Who are these Toastmasters? What is this competition? This isn't gonna be anything for a debater. And then just in our club contest, like I was used as a rag on the floor. Everyone was so good when we were having our contest in our club. It was a very humbling experience, but it was very interesting as well. I look fondly back to that first time because the rest of the times I competed, I think I've competed once or twice between then and now, but it was more of as a representative of my club, like no one is going to represent us, can you please? But I don't think in those moments I really applied myself. I think I got second place in the area level, but it wasn't on my own terms. I want to compete and win on my own terms. That's why I'm very excited for next year that I can finally compete again. But getting back to your story, Direct Jazz, you mentioned that you originally started your Toastmasters journey as a member of a corporate club. Was that you just newly joined this company, or were you a pioneering member of that existing corporate club?
Yeah, I'm not really a charter member, although I help form that club because I was part of the organizing team of Silver and White Toastmasters Club. But then, because I was so hesitant to become a member, I was so afraid of public speaking, I did not join as a charter member. And good thing my manager back then recognized the need for me to develop my communication skill because my role back then was a global leadership role and I needed to talk to a lot of people across cultures and uh, countries, right? So I have to be confident and be able to speak very well using the English language. So my manager gave me a pre-populated membership application form. At that time, I just needed to sign it,
Your signature?
yes,
Yes.
and give my consent, and then I became a member. But then after that, it was looking back, I'm really thankful that the manager recognized the need for me to improve my communication skill. That has been part of my development plan as an employee. And even my personal mission and vision, it's still part because it's a learning process. Like it's something that we do. It's a continuous learning journey for all of us. And it's also my challenge because as a leader, you have to keep on learning because you cannot really give what you don't have.
Yeah, that's right. We definitely can't give what we don't have. And I think it's true. Like Toastmasters in general is really it's a long journey, but it's also a very personal journey. Everyone goes at their own pace. Sometimes sometimes some speakers have a speech every meeting. Other speakers have one speech every Toastmasters year. But I guess the other question would be, since you have been a Toastmaster for so long, it's not only these 3 years that you have been the district trio, but you've been a Toastmaster for 20 years. So of course, you already came to really understand and love Toastmasters before then. So what's really that highlight of being a Toastmaster that really asked you to stay for so long?
Yeah, it's a combination of different reasons. The first one is it's aligned with my personal mission. It's the personal why, and it's really enabling, engaging, and empowering myself and other people to become to be able to maximize our potential. And it could be as a leader, as a speaker, and that's why I'm still here. That's one. Second is the relationships I've established, the friends I have. That's why I have a lot of clubs. I have a lot of membership in several clubs across divisions because I have friends in all divisions, and it's very hard to cut the ties because after the meeting you have fellowships, right? So you're there for the meeting and the fellowship right after the meeting. So it's there, the relationships we build, and of course the network and the support system that we have, because our fellow Toastmasters are not only fellow club members, right? They're also our friends, our support system, especially during the time of pandemic, and even now we're still transitioning out of it. They're there to help and support us all the way.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we all really love, coming back into more face to face or even hybrid meetings, that after the meeting we'll have that fellowship. I know that back when it was still fully online, it was still a bit. It's still good to have fellowship, but it's just different when you're really feeling the energy from everyone in the room. When you're really there, or you go someplace to eat, other Toastmasters decide to drink after. But again, the entire experience is really different when it's when it's in person, and you can really talk with all of your friends. And now it's not in a formal setting anymore, because of course we're not in the meeting anymore. We're at we're at restaurant.
That's true.
So um do you the for you, direct jazz, in your own life, I know that being a member of multiple clubs is also a big commitment of time. But do you have any other organizations outside of Toastmaster that you actively contribute to? Or maybe you founded an organization? Or is it really your time is split right now between work and Toastmasters?
Yep, I do have other organizations, but now I'm inactive in those organizations thanks to Toastmasters, because I really have to focus on the top three, right? The family, work, and of course Toastmasters. Other organizations, I'm part of TEDx J&J before. So I'm one of the organizers. So what we do is we um, set up or prepare for events not within the company J&J, and we I also participate in events, TEDx events outside of J&J and outside of the country. The last time was in Taiwan in 2019. This one, and prior to uh, me being active member of the Toastmasters organization and taking on leadership role, I used to compete in chess competition.
Ooh,
Yes, so within the company.
yes.
When I was a student, I used to uh, participate in Palarong Pambansa and other national level chess competitions. So I hope to go back in competing. I
Yes.
cannot do that while while I'm active in Toastmasters, because it requires a lot of time to prepare, to practice, a lot of brain power, and
Yeah.
I needed to conserve the brain cells to the preparing and delivering my speeches.
When you were still an active chess player, Direct Jazz, what was your highest rating?
I can't recall because it was so long ago when I was uh, participating in Palaro and WNCAA. Sorry,
Mhm.
some people have asked me that, but I'll find out and get back to you.
Right, because I know a lot of people right now. I myself I don't think I'm very good at chess. Just as a big disclaimer to anyone who's listening, I'm not good at chess at all. But I enjoy chess. I enjoy watching the analysis on YouTube. But my first interaction with chess, aside from how you're taught in school, would actually be through websites like chess.com and Chess, because these make it a lot more accessible, especially to the next generation. And actually, on these websites, you actually get a rating, and then the more that you play, you actually kind of emerge. It's not an official rating, because it of course it's digital chess. It's not over the board, so the over the board rating would still take precedence over the imaginary number. But there's still a lot of grandmasters and international masters who play on these websites as well, and it's also really interesting to see how much their rating is. I don't think I'm above 500.
I'll try that. Thank you for sharing.
I
If you
think
could
I
share the link
Yeah,
after.
I'll share the link with you there, Jazz. My rating is so low. I'm so embarrassed. But I enjoy chess, so I think with many things, we don't have to be very good at it to enjoy it, but learning and getting better is also part of the fun, right? Just like in Toastmaster, sometimes we deliver a bad speech, but that's good because there's more opportunities to improve, to learn, from going on from that. I would that learning experience, not to say failure. You also mentioned about TEDx earlier. Do you happen to remember any what some of your favorite TED Talks? I know there's a lot of TED Talks that are widely popular on YouTube or on the TED website itself, but are there any of the particular TED Talks that you really recall that are most impactful for you?
It's really more of the Simon Sinek TED series, particularly the starting with why. And you will always hear that in most of the leadership events, right? And even the personal development training events, that we will, anything we do, we have to start with our why, the purpose. And we also do that in Toastmasters. When you become members and leaders, you have to go back to your why.
Yeah, I think that's so true, because sometimes you can see a couple of members that they're just joining Toastmasters, and well, they don't take a role, but they just want to be there. But I mean, sometimes it's also good to really be part of the community, but it's also being part of being a Toastmaster to really push yourself to go further.
Yep.
So yeah, just on Simon Sinek, I think I remember when I was younger. I think because I didn't know who he was before I saw all of those TED Talks.
Uh-huh.
And like I think sometimes you see the clips, they remove the clip and then they upload it on Facebook, and then people are being outraged at him because I think he didn't have a lot of nice things to say about the younger generation. But but I think I agree now that I am more familiar with his material, because he was I think it was the gist of it was talking about people are very immature. People are often kind of lost about what they're doing and why they do it. And I think my reaction at the time was actually a very clear reflection of what he was saying. It was true. I was immature then. But now that I've read his books, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm so glad you had that realization because I remember there was also an article or one of his talks about the younger generation being wasteful of their time, right? Because they're so busy with social media and other endeavors which are not really that helpful based on his perspective, right? But yeah, I tend to agree with some, if not most, of what he's saying.
Yeah, that's true. I think social media is one of the most destructive things in young people's lives. I think as we grow older, we can hopefully everyone at home, you're managing it a bit better, that you're not constantly scrolling through Facebook or TikTok. But I think especially when you're younger and you're still a student, you don't have maybe as many opportunities to learn a new hobby or skill. So we go to the path of least resistance where we just scroll on TikTok or we scroll on Facebook or YouTube because we can just see the next entertaining thing. But if we spend that same amount of time, like maybe learning how to write, learning how to draw, learning how to paint, I think those would be ultimately more productive in the span of 5 years if we spend the same amount of time.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a matter of balance because some of the TikTok videos and the social media sites are also helpful, right?
Yes,
You get
yes.
pointers and you get also, I get to be inspired also with the stories that they're sharing, right? But then if you're there like almost the whole day and just doing nothing and just viewing the videos and not doing nothing about what you've learned, then I think that's the destructive part. But I guess it's a matter of um, like how you're reacting, managing your response, and doing something constructive about what you've learned to apply and to have balance in what you're doing.
All right. But how about you, Toastmaster Jazz? Are there any specific hobbies aside from chess, which you are going to return to soon? But aside from chess, what other hobbies did you have? Because I know Sir Nino is an avid painter, and sometimes we take his paintings and raffle them in the district convention. So I know that happened once before. But is there any particular hobby or skill that you really spend a lot of time honing and that you enjoy a lot?
Well, I don't know if it's a hobby, but I have four cats and four dogs. And I also love to uh, I love gardening because my undergraduate from UPLB is agricultural economics. So I love to. We used to have a farm when I was younger, but then we had to let go of the farm. So I love gardening and also um, watching Netflix. But I think that the Netflix part is more of being able to relate with my team members and people when they talk about like what's the latest. Because when I talk to my team members and they're like usually part of the younger
Yeah.
generation, they're talking about K drama, K pop, and anime. So when to be able to relate to them, and even with my nieces, they know Hangul or Korean language. So I have to really know what their language to be able to connect with them. And when you talk to like people from Toastmasters, that's also how what they're talking about, right? What they watch on Netflix, K drama, K pop, and on TikTok. So to be able to relate to them and connect with them, you have to know what they're interested in and be able to also share your thoughts based on their interests.
All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. Definitely, I love myself lots of gardening as well. Though we don't have a farm, but I enjoy. I have a lot of I have I would say an army. I have an army of peace lilies that all were propagated just from one plant a couple of years ago, and it's so satisfying to see them grow. And I also have a couple of giant pothos. Gardening is very fulfilling and calming for me. I think that's something that I also want to return to. because when we have so many commitments, sometimes we can't tend to our garden as much. We can't spend that extra couple of hours really creating that compost or
Mhm.
or propagating the plants. Sometimes we just need to let them live their life until we can have the time to get back to them. So yeah, I know I love gardening a lot as well. All right, so Derek Jazz, now we're going to transition. We're going to cha-cha. Maybe we're going to tell us that your secret hobby is that you're a professional dancer.
No, no.
No,
I used to be part of a choir. I used to sing, but don't ask for a sample because I haven't really prepared any. I haven't vocalized. So,
all right, thank you, Derek Jazz. So now we're going to transition into our kind of more serious questions for the end. So for the benefit of all our listeners, maybe this will be a lot more helpful for you if you're a up and coming district leader or someone who really wants to learn about what it's like to be a district leader or a leader, on the next level, when especially when it comes to our district. So Toastmaster Jazz, as being the district director now for a couple of months, more than a couple of months. Now we're nearing the term, so almost nearing 12 months. What's the proudest thing? What's the proudest thing that you have done this year as a district director?
yeah, aside from the normal or the usual programs that we have for the district in terms of club building and membership building, we have also explored and tapped other channels to promote the Toastmasters program. I don't know if you saw or if you've seen the digital, the mobile billboard, the trucks, thanks to Area Director Jean Lopo because she allowed us to use her trucks in promoting the Toastmasters program. And I've actually saw a video of the truck in motion or in action. And now we're also negotiating with another vendor to allow us to use the billboards along EDSA and SLEC. So we're praying for that, keeping our fingers crossed that that will be sometime soon. Because when we have those high level or um, national level venues or channels to promote Toastmasters Club and the program and the organization as a whole, then that will create more awareness and would create interest among the non Toastmasters. And hopefully that will result in more guests and more members for us. We've also tapped other communication channels to reach out and inform Toastmasters in terms of the district updates and the reminders. So aside from the usual social media postings and emails, we've also communicated and conveyed updates via SMS or the chat messages because Filipinos are so big into this. We're so much still into SMS, right? Or chat messages aside from Facebook postings. So there. And lastly, we've continued the district reformation. We had several conversations already with local and international leaders, including CEO Dan Rex during the mid-year training in Malaysia. So we have we're continuing that to provide more opportunities for Toastmasters to take on higher leadership roles. And another good news is TI, recognizing our growth potential, has suggested additional 4 countries to be part of District 75. We'll announce more of that during the district council meeting para may konting uh, mystery. I think some of you already know about it because we've mentioned that in the last district council, but we'll share more updates on that in the district council on April 29th.
All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. So, for all of the leaders listening, or those who aren't leaders yet, actually, I think you can also ask for the Zoom link to also listen in. But of course, for presidents and area directors, definitely we will see you there on the district stage, um, to really listen in for our district council meeting for all of these updates to officially be announced.
Yes, and I hope some of you would also go, or our Toastmasters members would also join us. Shameless plug for the district conference on April 28, 29, and 30 at the Manila Marriott Hotel in Pasay City. So it's still, as you said, Tia Miko, it's still a different experience when you're there, right? In person, uh, celebrating with fellow Toastmasters, both from from District 75 and from other districts. So also witnessing our contestants competing in the
Yeah, competing
course
live.
contest. Yes. So I hope you'll join us and you'll be part of that celebration.
And as a reminder to everyone as well, this is still our second district convention post pandemic. So we were really shut down for longer than we wanted, but now we're alive and kicking, and we're having our second post pandemic district convention. So I know a lot of us are still recovering from what happened in these past years, but it's really good to see all of us as well come together and really celebrate what it means to be a Toastmaster together with the entirety of the district. To touch on something you mentioned earlier as well, Derek Jazz, about the potential to use the billboards and the truck that we've already succeeded in putting the truck. I was also a bit involved in editing that, but I think it was a
Yeah,
very
you did the poster, right?
yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, yes, I but I think it was a very interesting and very welcome step, because I think over the past years we really focus only on social media. I think even prior to the pandemic, a lot of the focus was really in social media. But now that we're recovering from the pandemic, now we're really fed up with social media. But a lot of people are still there, but they're not our only target audience, because the Facebook algorithm isn't something we can completely control. But it's good to see these initiatives to really bring it into the physical space in the form of these posters on the side of a truck or in a billboard, and it will also signal to the people who are really professionals as well that they're also advertising in a very professional way. So here's to the Toastmasters. Hope maybe someone listening to this from the future is a Toastmaster who saw it in a billboard or a truck or the Toastmasters magazine. Welcome to Toastmasters.
Yes, and there are still a lot of opportunities if you own, I know of Toastmasters who own buildings. So uh connect with us so that we'll have free use of one part of your building and really promote the Toastmasters program.
Yeah, we're going to paint your entire building in Toastmasters colors. We're gonna ask for naming rights for your building. No, not really. But again, for all of those Toastmasters who are very gracious, if you're not using it for anything particular, it would be a great service to our district and to all of the Toastmasters to really meet new people and help new people really reach new heights in their own lives. And that's really our district mission, or our Toastmasters mission, to really be there and help others. All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. So, being a district officer, now I know you've been a division director before, but specifically as a district trio, now nearing the end of your term, what is your biggest takeaway from being part of the district trio? Because I know you're on a separate level from just a regular division director Of course, it's a higher level than an area director. Over these 3 years as the club growth director, the program quality director, and now our exiting district director, what is the biggest takeaway that you have from being on top of District 75?
Yeah. So for me, the biggest takeaway is like I go back to my mantra for this year, seizing the moment. You know, it's different when you're a member or a club officer and you're a district officer and representing District 75, Philippine Toastmasters, right? So every opportunity that's presented to you, that's presented to me, is an opportunity to promote Toastmasters and to help and serve other our fellow Toastmasters. So be it on a club level, district level, or even the international level. During the training, I'll just like to share that during the training, I was really thinking, how can I promote Philippine Toastmasters? And really project that Toastmasters from District 75 are really good speakers and leaders. And in that, when I was thinking of that, I saw CEO Dan Rex, and that time I went back to my mantra and said, I have to seize this moment and talk to him. And that's when I approached him and requested for a meeting to discuss how we can contribute to district to TI and how the TI can meet our goals as district as Toastmasters. So being able to live that mantra every day and being able to shine and serve fellow Toastmasters by taking on every opportunity to be able to become better speakers and leaders. So when you're a leader, it's you have that mindset, right? But it's really the daily grind, you know, the daily application of what you think you need to do, despite the challenges and hurdles that all of us are experiencing. So it's there. It's also another other elements that come to it would be resilience, right? Because of the pandemic, you really have to uh, be diligent and to stay focused on the goals and be able to encourage and motivate other people. So while you're going through all these challenges, you have to look at the bigger picture and be a bigger person, and really give hope to others so that they would continue their journey and become better speakers and leaders for themselves and for other Toastmasters.
All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. So it's really about seizing that moment and really making the most out of all of our experiences and all of the opportunities presented to us. So over this year as a district director, I think especially this year, since this year a lot of the rules regarding pandemic have been lifted, lots of the clubs are now even transitioning out of hybrid and they're moving back to full face to face. So it's really a big moment of change in not only District 75 but to Toastmasters International. What has been the biggest challenge for you in this specific Toastmasters year?
I think it's more of combination of external factors and how these external factors are impacting the motivation of Toastmasters. I These external factors involve the inflation, right? The possible recession, which result in org changes among companies, and that's impacting our corporate clubs, and also the to some extent the community clubs. And now there are also a lot of changes in terms of the transition from online to hybrid, right? So those and some of the clubs, they're so used to online, it's been very convenient for them, but now we're telling them, hey, you have to transition to the hybrid approach. and for some, you mentioned in person. So all of this would have impact on the motivation of Toastmasters. And now the challenge is how do you then influence and continue to motivate them to focus on achieving their goals while going through all these challenges and hurdles.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That Toastmaster Jazz, and it's definitely true that inflation really does play a big role in whether or not we're able to continue our membership, especially for those who are not members of corporate clubs. For the information of our listeners, most of the time, a corporate club has a form of sponsorship to the members, either in full sponsorship or sometimes a partial sponsorship of their membership dues. Whereas in a community club, more often than not, the members really do pay for themselves the $45 required to renew as a Toastmaster. But I think it also especially hard around the September renewals, because that was also around the time that um the conflict between Russia and Ukraine
Mm,
happened and caused a lot of the soaring price increase
mm,
in diesel in our country. Or all I think the impact was actually global,
mhm.
and I think it also made it very difficult to renew then. So we're still here. Toastmasters are still here. We're still choosing to renew. So thank you to all the Toastmasters who still pursue their journey. In our Toastmasters promise, of course, there's really a part which tells us to serve our club as an officer when when asked to do so, or when told to do so. Do you ever feel like there's an appropriate time to say no? Once again, do you ever feel like there's an appropriate time or a moment to say no? Not only to leadership, but maybe as a contestant, maybe for other people, they're not ready to become a general evaluator. But do you think that there's an appropriate time to say no? And when are those moments that you might be hesitant but you still say yes?
Yeah, so that question is actually it depends on the person and the circumstances during the time. Again, my take on that is it's always a choice. Because if you say no, then you lose that opportunity to become a better speaker and leader, right? And if you say yes, despite the challenges, then that will lead you to more opportunities and more achievements, right? So again, that depends really on the person. For me, I well, there will be instances that I would say no because I have to balance that with my priorities, what's important for me, and what would be my goal, my personal mission, and my personal objectives. But then I would normally say yes because that will be a learning opportunity and it will definitely help me become a better person. So for those who are still not sure if they will say yes or no because club officers and district officer role or elections are upcoming. I would like to encourage you to reconsider and grab that opportunity because it's really rewarding and fulfilling experience.
Yeah, I can, speaking also as an area director, I can also say that it's really a fulfilling, it's an amazing experience. And I'm also excited to see the next batch of area directors come in, and also excited to help them when they also ask for my help when it comes to assisting and serving their clubs. But I think at the same time, Derek Jazz, I think sometimes we prioritize too much on our old members. How do we return? How do we get these old members back? Or instead of focusing on the next generation and also encouraging them to, like, teaching them or allowing them to know about those masters, because I think sometimes when we're not too interested in district leadership, I don't think that that's a failure on Toastmasters' part. I think sometimes when there are people that they come into Toastmasters, they have this certain goal in mind, and then they stay because they love the community, they love the energy in the meeting, but maybe being a district leader is just not in their sight. I don't think that it's a failure on Toastmasters' part, because we are still part of their success, and they really got a takeaway from Toastmaster that they're going to use for the rest of their life. So for those of you who are hesitant, I think it's time to say yes if you're open to that opportunity. But if you already planned your life 5 years, 10 years in advance, if it doesn't fit into your goals, then go ahead and say no. But I'm sure that you would always double think and really ask yourself, what if I said yes to becoming a leader in that time?
Yep. I could very well relate to that because I've been, as I said earlier, I've been a Toastmaster for more than 20 years. And during that 20-year time frame, like 10 to 15 years, I would always say no. And it's just towards like my 15th year onwards, I think that's when I said yes to area level, division level. Perhaps because from a priority perspective, right? That time it was not the best time for me. That time perhaps I was just in a different mindset or different perspective. But again, looking back, I wish I said yes earlier. And of course, that because that will actually fast track. Well, at least for me, it fast track my development as a speaker and as a leader.
Yeah, so that also reflects the moment that you decided to seize the moment.
Yes, that's true.
All right. So moving on to the closing out as part of our interview, Direct Jazz. I know we're a bit past 2 p.m. at this point. Since the since District 75 has been growing over the past years, I know that there was that discussion on whether or not we should split the district, or again it was the, I think that's what the district reformation is that accurate? Yes. So
Yes, yes.
in terms of the district reformation, is there any idea about really the feasibility? I know right now we're still undergoing the feasibility of whether or not the districts should be split. How do you think this will affect the dynamic between the entirety of the district, because it's been like this for a long time. District 75 has always been Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. And now that if we're going to talk about splitting the district, we don't know how it's going to be split. How do you think that this will affect the how do you think this will affect the internal dynamics of a Philippine Toastmasters? And are you for the for the split of the district, or is this actually one of your initiatives that you really want to push for it to be split? Maybe you can speak to that.
Yes. So before I share my thoughts, again, let me just share that this is still in progress. So we're still processing it. There's no final decision yet as to the clubs who will be part of this District 1 and District 2, District 75 and another district number. But and another point also is it will be across Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. It will not be like Luzon and one Luzon and then Visayas, Mindanao, just for the info
Oh.
of everyone. It will so we'll have to consider or assess the strength of the clubs, so that it's a combination of the strong clubs and the not so strong or the struggling clubs for one district, for each district. So initially, when we're discussing this, we're assessing this. Of course, there are several considerations, and one of which is that the members would tend to be there will be separation anxiety because as a district, we love to be part of just one district, but then we also recognize the need for more leadership opportunities. Now we have more Toastmaster leaders running for CGD role, right? And we also heard feedback from members and upcoming leaders. They to an interest for the CGD role and later on PQD. And so with the district reformation, we'll have more leadership opportunities and more opportunities to grow as a district. So to answer your question, I'm for district reformation because it's for more. It will spell more opportunities for leadership roles and more growth opportunities for the district.
All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. So, since it's going to be a split between Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, it's also not necessarily a split like Division A, B, and C. D will go to one district, and then the rest of the divisions will go into another district. So, for example, clubs within a division will also be split between the two districts. Is that a possibility of what's gonna happen?
Yes, that's a possibility. We haven't really decided yet on which clubs or divisions would be part of a certain district. So we're still in that process of actually what the current status is. We have um, discussed this with the execom leaders. So that will include the top execom member leaders and then division directors, area directors, and we voted for the progress of the district reformation. So we've communicated that to Toastmasters International, and it will be discussed in the board of directors meeting. And they will tell us if we'll proceed or if there will be another direction. So that's where we're at. But then rest assured that every step of the way, we will be connecting and having conversations and discussions or we'll be consulting with the different uh, groups of clubs, areas, divisions to make sure that what we're planning to do is aligned with the goals and interest of Toastmasters from District 75.
All right, thank you, Direct Jazz. So, to more leadership opportunities. So now we might have two district directors for the Philippines, and also more opportunities for a Filipino to reach the top of Toastmasters International. Maybe more Filipinos to go into the world champion of public speaking.
Yes, definitely.
All right, that might be you, Derek Jazz, because you're going to compete next year.
Yes, and you're also competing, so we'll have to commit and so we'll see each other next
We'll
year at
see each
the
other.
district level, right?
So it needs to be international speech contest.
Yeah. Although I have to check because I'll be part of I'll be the chair
Yeah,
of
yeah.
DLC, so not sure. So I'll have to check the
Maybe
guidelines.
you'll need to wait another year.
Yes, yes.
Toastmaster Jazz, it's been a wonderful afternoon. To close out your message this afternoon for the incoming district trio and anyone else who might have that potential to become a district leader, not only a division director, but even above, even maybe they're interested to become a part of the district trio sometime in the future. What is that advice? What is that one piece of advice that you would give to them and especially to the next district director?
Yeah. So the advice would be to always focus on the members, their goals, their interests, and from there adjust your district plans. And it's actually a balancing act between the goals of the members because it's really your primary focus and also making sure that you're achieving the metrics and the goals of the district. Because as they say, when you meet the goals of the members, eventually you will reach or achieve the district goals. So it's making sure that you consider and plan for those in parallel, and also mobilize a lot of Toastmasters. You cannot do this alone as leaders. You have to delegate and mobilize more Toastmasters. I am uh, that's actually my journey as a leader, because I tend to do things alone. So eventually, I learned to delegate, and saw the beauty of and benefit of delegation, because aside from having to implement a lot of things at the same time, you get to enable, engage, and empower other Toastmasters, uh, and help them become better leaders. So I'd like to encourage you to do that. And lastly, to not to forget about yourself. As a leader, you also have to go through uh, to learn and really develop yourself, to make sure that you have what it takes. And as I said earlier, you cannot give what you don't have. So make sure that you also spend time, make time to really step back and assess and learn, so that you will be able to share something that and be to deliver value to other people. So that's a lot of takeaways. Actually, there's a lot of learning points over the years. And when I was thinking about my journey, I learned a lot. And it's 1 hour is not enough. And that's the beauty of taking on leadership roles, that you get to know about yourself, how you will react in certain situation, and also be able to adapt and customize your response based on the the other Toastmasters that you're communicating with, and a lot of learning. So this has been a very fulfilling journey. So that that's why I'd like to encourage all of you to consider and again seize that moment, because the opportunity will not always be there. And once you have that opportunity, grab that opportunity and optimize it, because it could be a learning opportunity, and it could also be a winning moment for you to become better speakers and leaders.
Very beautifully said. Thank you, Direct Jazz. And especially a big thank you for taking the time to be part of this interview series, not being a candidate yourself, but being a special guest and an incoming advisor for the incoming next set of district leaders. Despite your busy schedule, you really made the time to talk with us. And for all our listeners, there you have it. Remember to always seize the moment. If you have any specific question that you'd like to ask Direct Jazz, maybe you can comment it on the comment section down below. And who knows, maybe we can interview Direct Jazz when she's not the director anymore. She'll now be again back to Toastmaster Jazz. Once again, to distinguished Toastmaster Jazz, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity to share my insights, and looking forward to seeing the other podcasts and seeing the members become taking on leadership roles.
Right? Thank you, Derek Jazz. And for all of you, once again, we are inviting you to come to Manila for our district convention this coming April 28, 29, and 30. This is going to be a jam-packed learning session with contests, competitions, and of course, the coveted district council meeting. For all of you who are interested, please come in contact with your division director, and we'll direct you to how to join our district convention this coming April 2023 in Marriott Hotel. But for now, this has been a great episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.